your breath, my bellows, my heart, your hearth. Today we step into the sacred wild. Today we carry a new ember. Well, welcome to Embers, a Whisper and Flame podcast. My name is Michael, and I am the voice of Whisper and Flame, the voice that will guide you and journey with you these next 30 days. When your flame has burned down to embers, and all you can do is but whisper, you are welcome here. If you haven't yet, pick up a copy of Embers, 30 Days for Holding What Remains. It's a guided devotional journal that lets you encounter art and poetry and scripture and gives you a place to write your story for yourself. Visit our website, whisperandflame.store, or our Etsy shop, or Amazon. I'm a former staff pastor at an inner-city homeless shelter. I was a hospice chaplain working with patients facing the ends of their lives. I planted a church that welcomed deconstructing Christians before deconstruction was even a term. When I was flying into Seattle for a much-needed vacation, it was nearly nighttime. I looked out the window of the airplane and saw a rugged blue-black blanket of the ground, with points of light beginning to appear all over the surface as the sun sank below the horizon. They were like stars on the ground, embers of home fires, stadiums, streetlights, life cast across the rugged, darkening ground, everywhere as far as the eye could see. And as we approached SeaTac, coming in for a landing, the embers of light became denser and denser, and light was all I could see. I saw, even in the rugged, mountainous west, how utterly we've conquered the wild. There really are very few places on this earth that are wild anymore. I spent time in a few on that trip. The North Cascades are stunning and remote, but even there, the wild was only an approximation of what it used to be. We had roads to get us there. We had cell signal if we climbed up high enough. The wild was not really wild. We'd conquered it. We've constructed and destructed and 5G LTE'd the wild right out of the world. There is something unsettling to us about life that is truly wild, truly uncivilized. It's unpredictable. It feels chaotic. It doesn't demur. It cannot be controlled, so it must be demolished and overwritten. There is something, though, about the wild that is sacred. Something about it that's true, innocent, and free. And that is frightening to the civilized. The wild is larger than me. It's beyond me. It was here before me and will be here after me. The mountain, the forest, the river, even the clouds in the sky and the water we drink is all the same water. Its atoms are never lost, just constantly refreshed through the cycle of evaporation and condensation, and rain and snow and rivers. We have painted this thin veneer of civilization over the top of the wild and pretended like we are the beginning and the end. We are the alphas and the omegas. This includes church. Painting a veneer of civilization over the wild. Painting a veneer of ourselves on God, as if He bears our image, not the other way around. There are two churches, you know. There is the church, the people of God, and there is church, the institution. The building, the budget, the behaviors, and the bullshit. The word church means gathering. It's a group of people gathering together to worship their Creator, to connect in love to Him and one another, to be unified by the story of grace, by the story of Jesus holding nothing back, not even His own life, to rescue the world. The people are a revolution, a movement of that grace in the world. People who've been forgiven and who work to forgive. People who've been loved and work to love. People who got hope and turned around to give it back out to their neighbors and friends and enemies. The people are not the institution. The institution forces compliance and manufactures systems that force people to fit into its scheme for human life. No, the people of God are a revolution, a movement of His furious longing for each and every soul, asking them to come back home to His table and have a meal. The people do not paint a veneer of themselves onto God. The institution does. Serving the building and the budget and the behaviors and the bullshit over everything else. Because if we don't, they say, we won't be able to carry on our ministry. If we don't have a building, we can't meet. If we don't have a budget, we can't do our ministry. As if God actually isn't in control and we need to protect Him. As if we need to save Him. See, we box Him in because He's too much. He's too wild for us. He is not tame enough for us to fit into the boxes and categories that the institution needs Him to fit into. The wildness of God, though, is not something to fear, but something to follow. There's something sacred and wild about this earth. And it was made to point us to the wild one, the one beyond us. Wild and out of our control, because He was before us, is after us, the real Alpha and Omega, the one who saves us, not the other way around. Yes, our world is sacred and wild, and often safer for our hearts and souls than the institution of the church could ever be. My ex-wife is somebody who grew up with a church experience that was really frightening to her. Her church participated in a very specific strain of thinking. The pastor would return to his favorite subject over and over again throughout her childhood: the end times. He believed and subjected his congregation to a specific strain of thinking about the book of Revelation. It was filled with terrifying visions, monsters, and a legalistic, distant, frightening God. As a young girl, this terrified her. The fear-mongering from the pulpit, "Be sure of your salvation," it helped nothing for her, except to make her question God's love and goodness. If she wasn't perfect, these monsters would come and get her, and God wouldn't save her because he was too angry with her. Her pastor was trying to ignite faith in the people. But for her, it nearly ruined her fledgling faith. Her trust in the God who priced how much she was worth to him at the cost of his own life. The institution of church can often cause the destruction of the very thing it's trying to create. A real relationship between God and us. So she always found solace in the woods, in the fields at sunrise and sunset, in the rivers and the trees and the mountains. Her family would vacation in Colorado, and they would go hiking, and they absolutely loved the mountains. Eventually, I was invited to go, and that was where, sure enough, I got the bug as well. And it's funny because no matter what we were going through in our marriage, we could always go outside. We could always go out and experience something higher and deeper and bigger than us, a beauty that was more permanent than we could be, than our problems could be. And I really think that that was the sacred presence of the Wild One. It was his mercy for her that she could experience him there more than anywhere else. Church is a burned bridge for her. And so what she did was leave and go out into the wild. And instead of listening for the voice of God from a man in a pulpit, she listened for the voice of God in the breeze, in the crackle of leaves and twigs underneath her feet, in the river that never stops flowing, and the falling of rocks crashing down the mountain. Louder, truer than the frightening voices of men in pulpits, she found him out there, and continues to. Have you experienced God in the sacred wild? Did he appear to your mind in a breeze, in a sensation, or in a sound? I heard a sound like that this summer. The crashing of boulders down a mountainside. I was on Mount Rainier, and I heard this thunderous noise, louder than I would have believed possible. It was a rock fall. I didn't see it. I only heard it. And it was the loudest thing that I have heard outdoors, maybe ever. It was a thunder louder than thunder on a clear blue sky day. And that's the voice of God, too. He is the still small voice, yes. And his is the voice of the wild, reminding us that this world is still wild and still his temple. And it's a place where the world's beauty is theology, and it's pointing us to him. He wants us to see him there and hear his voice in the wild in awe and wonder. To experience someone so good and so powerful through the world, which is itself so good and so powerful. And to know that in the sacred wild, we can meet the wild one who leads us further in and further up into refuge and rest in meadows of peace, leaping rivers of joy, and towering, unending forests of hope. Breathe our breath prayer with me. Inhale. Wild one. And exhale. Lead on. And again. Inhale. Wild one. And exhale. Lead on. I want to know your story. Where have you experienced something sacred in the wild? If you'd like to share your story with us, or even join us on this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us on the Whisper and Flame Facebook pages, Instagram pages, or send us an email at whisperinflame, that's whisper, the letter N, flame, @gmail.com. We look forward to connecting with you. Thank you for joining me today for Ember 21, The Sacred Wild. Pick up a copy of Ember's 30 Days for Holding What Remains from our website. Allow me to bless you as we depart for now. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and bring you peace. Before you go, remember, even the grave is not godless, but a child's lost and found. You, yes, you are beloved, every scar, holy ground.